Archer and the Devil.
Welcome. That was a bit loud.
That was so fucking loud.
Welcome to Archer. I'm not going to do it all.
And the Devil?
Welcome to Archer and the Devil, episode 15 of our podcast. I feel like we're getting back into the momentum now.
We are now.
After lockdown screwed us over.
Yeah.
We started getting into it, and now
What
we're
I
getting
like
back into
is
it.
our general ridiculousness now.
The let's not bother thinking about, because before
we
had like a WhatsApp group and we'd put ideas in. We'd have
Nothing.
articles of links of articles about what to talk about. This is
Something would happen in the news, and we'd be like, "Oh, okay,
we can talk about that."
One of us would read it,
yeah, and the other one wouldn't, so we'd tell each other about it.
But we knew what the topic was.
So I've just asked you, what are we going to talk about today, and what was your answer?
We'll improvise.
And then what did you say?
I'm going to talk about the fact that I just dropped my beer.
Welcome to episode 15.
So, if you probably so first things first, Rob isn't here.
Oh yeah, again.
This is only audio. Again,
Rob's a shirker.
he is a shirker. He's such a fucking. He doesn't even listen to it anymore. I don't think. So if I said, Rob, you're a prick, he's never going to know.
It's a bit harsh.
I mean, I'm not saying it genuinely.
You could have been like, put me on endearing with your insult. Like, you're a cotton-headed
Picking an E.
Wait,
I think that's racist. Possibly.
No, a cotton picker would be racist.
They're picking an E is racist.
I don't think cottonhead is racist. Anyway, move on.
Move on.
Rob, you're all of them unless it's racist, in which case you're none of them.
Yeah. So I always bring a couple of beers with me, and I was trying to carry your beer.
I had beer this week as well.
Because I bought you beer.
Which doesn't happen very often.
So
but
I brought you beer, and then I had my beer, and I was trying to lock my car. And I had my headphones as well. I was trying to lock my car, and one thing got one too many, and I dropped my beer outside your house.
It's a tough life.
And then the neighbour came out to make sure I was okay, because I dropped a beer.
Because you were sweeping up glass.
I think she was coming out to make sure I was actually cleaning it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm 2 beers down, because it was one of the big ones.
Oh, you bought a big boy?
A bit of big boy.
You bought a big boy?
Fucking devastated. How's your week been? That's high pitched.
So, Saturday, I was sick. I don't know if I mentioned it last time. I was sick of seeing everybody's posts in their swimming pools in their back garden. Everybody was coming home. Oh, I'm going to chill in the pool tonight. You know, when it was fucking really hot last week or the week before.
Hot.
And everyone was, and I was like, I just love to sit in a pool now for an hour. So I ordered one 8-foot circular pool, deep enough for me to sit in and get neck deep.
How many litres of water was it?
3,500 litres. I can't even do that in the bath because I'm so tall. So it's either legs or torso.
Yeah.
It's never both.
With
both. This pool, I can do that. I can submerge myself like a normal human up to my neck and not have any body parts sticking out the water.
That's the dream.
So I've ordered this pool.
Unless you tickle yourself and...
I ordered this pool and it turned up, and I thought, because I've worked hard during lockdown to recultivate my grass seed, water it, etc., due to dog damage and the previous tenants. So I didn't want to trash my grass, so I thought what I'll do is I'll just slab the top end of the garden, because it's a sun trap at that end anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, then if I can put the pool in it, I can put the patio chairs on it.
Patio
chairs on it,
chairs.
whatever. And then I'm not going to trash the grass, because it's going to break my heart.
This is a great story.
So I text my brother. My brother's fucking useless, and he said he'd come and do my slabs for me. Bottom line is he never turned up. I put the pool up anyway, and it's pissed it down every day since.
Today's been the first nice day.
Yeah, and I've not had a chance because I emptied it last night. So
well, you're still in the process of
I'm
emptying
still emptying
slowly.
it, yeah. It took 2 hours to fill and approximately 36 hours to empty.
What do you do in a pool? If you get in a pool that's 8 foot by 8 foot...
Sit in it.
And do what?
Just chill.
I don't get it.
Watch YouTube.
I don't get it.
That's literally what I do. That's pretty much what I do wherever I am.
You know what's weird?
Watch YouTube.
You know, just going back to baths, you know when girls post pictures of they're in the bath?
The hot dog legs.
They just make sure that coochie's out of the shot.
Yeah,
You know, that's what they're doing,
yeah.
right? They line it up like coochie.
You're like, I know you're naked.
Good.
You're in the bath.
But why? I don't get it.
What, the picture or why you're in the bath?
I understand why people have baths, but I don't understand the photo. And I also don't, right, because imagine if that was in a shower. No one's sending pictures, no posting pictures, just doing it in the shower. You know what I mean?
Having a shower, selfie. Right. I suppose.
Should we start it? Should that be a thing? I'm not going to do that, by the way.
I mean, that's a good point, actually. Like, why are you telling me that you're in the bath? Cool, enjoy it.
Is it meant to be alluring? Is it meant to be unrelaxing? Is it? I don't really understand it.
I've never really thought of a bath as being relaxing anyway.
I don't, but
Because it's always too fucking hot.
And I'm 6'3" and you're 6'4",
And it's really uncomfortable. And
don't fit in them.
after about 15 minutes of being in it, you think,
I'm filthy.
I need to get out of this
Yeah,
bath.
like I wouldn't have a bath unless I could have a shower immediately afterwards.
I always do.
Which defeats you.
Whenever I get out the bath, I immediately have a shower.
So why are you having a bath?
I think it's to relax.
Okay.
But it usually has the opposite effect because I get out and I'm fucking sweating. And why anybody ever thinks that taking a cup of tea in the bath is a good idea is beyond me. Ice water is what you need when you're in the bath, not a cup of tea.
I mean, a cold beer maybe.
Cold beer. I don't know. I mean,
Do you put bubbles in your bath?
yeah.
Do you have like a little duck?
No.
Why don't you have like a little battleship?
No.
I'm gonna for Christmas. I'm buying you bath toys.
I did go to Amsterdam. Bought a. I think it was a racing. There's like a shop in Amsterdam for some reason. Was it Amsterdam? It might have been Bruges. I think it was Bruges.
Okay.
And like the whole shop just sold rubber ducks, but all different.
Oh, well, no, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
think I've been to
I've
Bruges
got like a
and
little,
Amsterdam.
like a little racing driver. He's got like a crash helmet on.
Yeah.
And then we got a Father Christmas one, like a pink unicorn one, and the dog destroyed two of them because apparently that's their toys.
At what age did you stop playing with toys?
Did I stop?
Yeah.
What do you class as a toy?
Like,
Because I still love Lego. Is that a toy?
I guess.
What about Lego? Lego Technic's fucking
Okay.
solid.
The question is this: once you're done building it, do you then play with it?
No, I just put it on a
So
shelf.
if you okay, so yeah, you didn't know it's not playing with it.
No, it's built. I'd never say I'm playing with Lego. I always say building Lego.
You know when like you were a kid and you build a spaceship or like an aeroplane or something, and then you run around with it. And make
Oh no! I
noises and-
literally, if I buy a kit, I'll build the kit, and then that's it. I don't then break it up
I
and
wonder
then
if I
build
still
other
have
things.
the imagination enough to play.
That's
with
what
toys.
I think my problem is. I think it's not through want of not enjoyment. I just think I don't have the imagination now
Yeah.
that I did have as a kid. I mean, you could probably still build something like it's a plane,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
boat, it's a car, but I don't know if it would be the same.
I don't think
Do
you
know what I
enjoy it.
mean?
You fucking dickhead.
If I looked at it and went, well, I've built that and it's shit, and I built that Porsche that Lego designed and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm always going to build that other one because
Yeah.
it looks like it should do. If I said to you, look at this Porsche that I've built in the Lego Technic, you go, oh, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
If I built my own one and said, look at this car that I've built, you would go, you need to grow
It's a
up.
bit remedial.
You need to grow up.
Yeah.
It's not even got doors, you fucking idiot. That's
Isn't that weird
you know
though,
what I
that
mean?
one day we put our toys down and we never picked them up again?
Yeah, but I substituted mine.
With computer games.
No, with the cars.
So wait, what? How old were you then?
13. I had my first car.
Your first car to drive
Actual car.
Really?
Yeah, and it just sat out the side of the house, and I just took bits off it and put bits back on it.
Oh really?
It was an old,
That's pretty cool.
I think it was like a D-Reg
That
Astra. or
explains a
something like that.
lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it explains a lot.
It was like a D-Reg Astra, and I
Yeah.
bought it, or got given it. Somebody was chucking it away, like they was going to scrap it. So I texted my mum, and I was like, look, can I have this car down the side of the road, down the side of the house? And she just, out of the blue, went, yeah.
That's cool.
I was like, what?
Go, Mom.
So yeah, so then it had all the big thick plastic. It was burgundy, and it had big thick plastic bumpers on it, and fucking it was rotten and all sorts of shit. And then it started to like rot more,
Yeah.
like noticeable rot, like falling out on the driveway rot. So she says, you're gonna have to get rid of it before it disintegrates in front of
Before
us.
it melts.
So like a fucking idiot, my brother again. I asked my brother, do you know anybody that would want to take this car away for scrap? It still ran and everything. I got it running. It worked fine. It was just rotten. It would never pass an MOT.
Yeah.
And my brother went, yeah, my mate, I'll take that. He'll give you 50 quid. I was like, oh, happy days. Fucking, I was like 14 or 15.
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. He come round, drove it away, and I couldn't get it back off him. So, and he kept driving it round the village, like no insurance, no fucking nothing. So I'd still got a key, like a spare key for it. Eventually it ran out of petrol. He was only a kid as well.
Yeah,
like, he was
yeah.
one of my brother's mates. He was like a year younger than me. So they was driving it around, and I felt bad because they was driving around this car that somebody...
Was it in your name?
I can't
Or
remember.
could you have a car in your name at that young?
I think it was still in... Because my friend knew me, and he knew that I wasn't going to drive it, I don't think we ever swapped the logbook
Right,
over.
okay.
So I think it was still in his name.
Yeah.
And then this kid was driving around in it. So I felt bad. So in the end, he ran out of petrol and he hadn't got no money because he was a kid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I found out where it was parked, went up with my mate with the spare key, stole it back off him and drove it straight to the scrapyard. And literally drove it straight to the scrapyard and just went, there you go, there's the key, see you later. Because the scrapyard was only half a mile up the road in Kingsbury. So I ended up, my first car, I ended up stealing back after selling it to scrap it because the kid told me that he was going to scrap it because it was worth more than 50 quid. So he said, I'll give you 50 quid for it. But you'll probably get 100 quid for it in scrap. I was like, I didn't even want money for it.
Did you get the money in scrap?
No, I just gave it to him. I said, just
right,
fucking
okay.
take it. I just didn't want nothing to do with it. And I didn't want the kid to know that I'd stolen
I can't believe it's taking 15 podcasts to hear that story.
I know. I just forgot about it, to be honest. But yeah, that was my... So I think that I put like the toy cars down
When you got real
and went
cars.
to a real car.
I mean, that's a big jump.
And then I think I got my first car when I was... My first car that I was going to drive when I was 16.
What was that?
A Nova, Vauxhall Nova.
Okay.
F650 SBC was the number plate. One owner from new. It was a 1.2, 4 gears.
My Capri was 4 gear.
In white, Arctic white. It was fucking mint, this car was. Little 1.2. Bought it off his old boy. He'd had it from new.
Yeah.
So that was a 19... I think it was like a 1983, 1984, possibly. And I had it in the garage. I modified it. I put exhaust on it. I used to fucking I bought all this stuff for it before I was even 17. I rented a garage. You know, remember the council garages?
Yeah.
I rented a council garage down the road from my nan's house. And my mate passed his test before me. So he would used to drive up to my house in his car. We'd go out in my car back in the day. He would drive it because you could drive any... If he was fully comp, you could drive any car back then, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So he'd drive to my house, pick my car up. We'd drive down the lanes. As soon as we was off the main road and we was down the back lanes, I would drive rally it round the lanes, and then he'd drive it back again. But yeah, the garage fell down around the car. It was in the garage for 18 months because I kept failing my test.
Yeah.
I failed 6 tests.
How did you fail 6
I
tests?
passed my driving test on the 7th attempt. Not many people know that.
Well, everyone knows that
it's
now.
quite an embarrassing fact. But
I think I failed once.
7, because I wanted to drive so fucking bad.
Yeah.
So bad. And it's the only, even pretty much to this day, it's the only thing that I've ever got nervous about.
Really?
Exams, job interviews, anything, doesn't bother me. I failed my trailer test as well, first time.
It was 6 times on a driving test.
6 times, man. It took me 18 months to pass my test from turning 17.
That's
yeah,
a lot.
I pretty much had my first driving lesson on my birthday.
Like now, that would have cost you a fortune.
Oh, it
as
did
well.
then?
I mean, yeah.
It was only because I was living at home still that I could afford to do it.
I don't even know how much driving tests are
I
now.
think my driving lessons were...
Mine were 15 quid.
I think mine were 15 quid. And then it was something like you had to rent the car for 2 hours for the test, plus the cost of the test.
Yeah.
I reckon I spent well over $2,500 learning to drive.
Fucking hell.
Not learning to drive, passing my test.
Yeah.
Passing my test. But yeah, I had 3 different driving instructors. I had the first one for 5 tests, and he was an ex-coach driver.
Right.
So all he would say, and I still remember this now, he would say to me, drive the car like you're driving a bus. And I used to think to myself, I've never driven a fucking bus. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Fucking hell.
And I was like, okay, what? And what he meant was, you know, if you're on a bus, you don't stamp. They don't stamp on the brakes and accelerate, stamp on the brakes.
Yeah.
It's all nice and smooth and flowing.
Yeah.
That's what he meant.
Yeah.
But he never explained that. He just said,
Drive it
like you're driving a bus.
Fucking hell. I remember my first driving lesson.
Do you want me to stop, pick these people up?
Yeah,
or?
like, literally. My first driving lesson, the guy came in a KA and I didn't fit in it and was like, I can't. You're wasting your time and mine, mate. I literally...
I should have warned me about that.
Sorry, he was taking a big gulp of alcohol at the time. Yeah, like literally, he pulled up and I'm like, mate, I pulled the seat back and my knees were above the steering wheel.
My first lessons was in a KA with Dave the Rave at Kingsbury.
So I learnt in a 206 in the end. But like literally in this KA, I sat in the driver's seat, pulled it back, and I'm like, mate, you got no chance.
I passed in a KA.
Right.
My first lessons was
How did you fit in? You're taller than me.
Because I didn't care. I made myself fit.
It's probably why you failed 6 times.
Oh, mate, he was a fucking nightmare. But it was my first car that I was learning was like a Suzuki. and it was Japanese, and the controls was the opposite way around. So your window wipers was where your indicators are, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So because I'd always had cars, I'd been driving and whatnot, or playing about with them, I was used to indicators and window wipers. Switch that over.
Yeah.
Really fucking confusing.
I had that when my first car was a Focus.
Yeah.
And my second and current car. Well, I've had 3 Focuses and a 4 Capri. Foci. My mate calls me the Focus guy. He's like, at the back where it's got the embossed Focus thing. He's like, I'm going to get the and guy and put it on top of because my car broke last year and I had to buy the clutch plate on it. It was like £600 to fix my clutch. I was like, fuck that. Just to buy a new car. So I've got the one I've got now.
Throwaway society.
And he came to, it was fucked.
Throwaway society.
It wasn't just that car ran really well and the head gasket went on it. And after that went, I'm pretty sure. So my dad used to be a mechanic for fucking years, and he's got a guy in Blackheath that he goes to, and every time I leave my car there, I'm pretty sure it takes all the good bits off. Because like my clutch will be fucked. I come back and then like my steering's off.
But the clutch is fine.
Clutch is fine
because he's just took that off someone else's car.
I literally just swapped parts around. So
never buys new parts, just constant new business.
Literally, so
all the time.
When it was a 1.6. Like my first car was a 2 litre. This was a 1.6. So it was a lot. It's a heavier car as well. Like the old Focuses were like the current Fiestas. So it was a lot lighter. It was like a fucking go kart.
Yeah.
But I got this Focus. It was really fucking heavy. Like 0 to 60 took about 2 months. Once you were there, you were fine. Once you hit 60, building up speed from there wasn't a problem. But getting to that, fuck me. And my head gasket went, so I went to get it fixed. And when I got it back, it was like everything was wrong with it. And I'm like, only the fucking head gasket went. The fuck have you done to my car?
Why have I got 3 wheels?
So literally, it's not the Flintstones car. There's no floor in it anymore. So when I did like a lot of fucking miles in that car as well. So by the time like the clutch went, I was like, fuck it, I need to get a new. I think I was already having the conversation the day before my clutch went, saying, end of this year, I'm going to buy a new car. And it was almost like my car heard me, but well, fuck you then. Packed up on me, so I brought my new one. And my mate came to look for cars with me, and he was like, if you get another Focus, you're officially 3 of 1 car.
Yeah, but they're good cars. I never used to be a Ford man. I've
had 4 cars.
I've had fucking loads. Peugeots, Citroens. I've always had pretty much like hot hatches, except for my current car. That's probably the biggest, most granddad. To be fair, I had vans for like 6-7 years.
Yeah.
With the racing and stuff like that. So I fucking love a van. I love a van. I do love a van.
I've only driven a van a few times.
Vans are great.
They give you that grandiose
They're
kind of.
so good. They're useful.
The road is
they're
yours.
Comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you've got a van, you're everybody's best mate.
Yeah.
Your phone never stops ringing.
Literally today on Facebook, I've seen 2 people asking for vans.
See, Friday night, what you doing the weekend? Why? No reason. What do you need moving? Wow.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you'll fit a mattress in it? For fuck's sake, yes. But
you need a van with your map move house as well.
I know, yeah. That's pretty much
what you got.
It saved me a fortune. Yeah. But no. But how old was you, or how long had you been driving when you had your first crash? I guess this is going to be a driving podcast. It's kind of going that way. So
my first, I've never had a bad crash.
Or bump, or accident, or whatever you want.
I can't remember how long it had been, but it was my girlfriend's birthday. We'd been to the zoo. We went to Dudley Zoo.
Yeah.
Because she likes animals and she wanted to go to the zoo. I was like, cool, okay. So I drove her to the zoo. We were driving back.
And it's a good reason to go to the zoo.
Yeah. And we were driving back. Now, we did have this conversation about 2 weeks ago, and her version of this story very much differs from my version of the story.
So I'm just laughing at my own joke. Carry on.
And I remember there was an X5 in front of me, which was about 30 yards in front of me at that point.
Right.
And I'm driving. You know, if you're coming from Birmingham, and you can go Kingsbury Way or go A5.
Yeah.
Like towards the A5. So I was driving on that split, or you can go onto the M6 toll. I'm driving down that split, so in the third lane of those 6. And she was like, look at the sunset. Which is,
oh, no. Right.
So I'm having to look through the passenger side rear window.
Not looking where you're going.
Not looking where I'm going. But I've looked, and the X5 in front of me is about 30 yards away.
Yeah.
So I look out the window, and it's a pretty sunset.
Was it, though?
It was.
Was it worth it?
It was not worth what happened there. So then I turn back around again, and all of a sudden the X5 that was 30 yards away
Wasn't
is very much
on your bonnet.
5 yards away.
Right.
So I hammer my clutch and my brake down, put my arm across her, because great boyfriend.
Yeah.
I think.
Right.
Let's just say.
I've done that before whilst crashing.
Let's just say I did.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, she'll tell me, but you people won't know. So if I'm wrong, only I'm going to find out. So I heroically made sure she was all right. Smoke's coming out from the clutch burning, and I smacked into the back of him.
Right.
Well, okay, well, airbags didn't go off, so that told you the level of impact.
Yeah.
So we pull over to the side, and I'm like, "Are you okay? You okay?" Like making sure she's all right. We get over to the side. It's 100% my fault. I was watching the sunset, so I'm not going to go out.
Did you tell the guy that?
I didn't tell him that.
Whose car you just crashed into?
But I get out first and walk straight to the front of my car and have a look. And basically, my number plate had cracked.
That was it.
That was it.
Right.
And I look at the back of his, and he's got a tow bar with a chip in it.
Right. Okay.
And when I say chip in it, the painted chips.
Right.
So he gets out, pissed off to fuck, understandably, because his car was a lot nicer than mine. And he's like, "I'll take pictures of mine, take pictures of his, swap it details over." And he's proper angry. I'm like, "Look, I've got some nail varnish in my car. I could paint that up for you right now."
He'd be like it never happened.
He didn't seem that impressed. But I never heard of him. And then the only other accident I have, I was hungover to fucking sin, and my mate was moving to Japan. Sean was moving to Japan, and we had gone. I took him for lunch, and I was driving him home after. And there used to be, if you come from Ventura, KFC exit, and there's those two lanes split into three where that roundabout is.
Yeah.
It used to be you were on the right-hand lane to go into the middle lane, and they changed it, so you now have to be in the left-hand lane. So I hadn't known they changed it. I was in the right-hand lane, go into the middle one. Someone else is obviously in the left, coming to the middle one.
Right.
I know I didn't indicate. I always indicate. I know I didn't indicate. So I've hit him. He's hit me. I've hit the back of his car with the front of my car.
Right.
Side on to side on. So I'm like, fuck's sake. Sean's shitting himself. He's like, what's going to happen? I'm like, calm down. Don't get excited. It's going to be all right. Is that a car alarm going off?
Don't worry about that.
So we drive around the corner, pull over. I stink of rum. Now, I want to stress, I had not been drinking, but the night before, I very much had. So I get out my car, and this kid must have been about 18 years old. He sees me and shits himself.
My fault, mate.
I'm really sorry. I'm like, "Dude, don't worry about it." And I was like, "Do you need to claim?" He's like, "My mate can fix it." I'm like, "Have a good day, man." Literally got back in my car and rolled on. And they are, to my knowledge, the only two accidents I've been in. So neither involved having to call an insurance company or an actual proper. I feel like your story is going to be different.
I've written loads of cars.
There we go. Yeah. Racing or just road driving?
I mean, 2001 was a very different time. Let's just start with that.
There were no rules. There was very little CCTV.
Fast and Furious had just come out.
Oh, fucking Fast and Furious had just come out.
And that kind of changed my life in a weird fucking way, because that was kind of...
We have talked about it on the podcast before,
But I don't know if I told this story or not, but...
So start telling it. I'm going to grab it out the freezer.
I had my Nova for... I think it was probably about 6 months that I'd passed my test. And I was driving to... My dad was a tanker driver, right? And I used to drive to work the same way that my dad would leave the depot. So some mornings, I would come up behind him doing 56 miles an hour. And me and my 1.2 4-speed Nova used to get very impatient with my dad. So I would overtake him, right? Kicking its car's fucking head in. And then my phone would ring. "Stop bloody driving that car like a dickhead." Sorry, Dad. Not realising that it was my dad's tanker that I'd overtook.
Right, okay.
On a 60 mile an hour road, and he's limited to 56 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So I was... Let's say I was driving spiritedly. No, I was racing an MR2. Down the dual carriageway. Bearing in mind an MR2 is a 2-litre turbo, and mine's a 1.2 Nova. I was racing him down the dual carriageway, and the big swoopy turn as you come off the A5 to go to Asda.
Yeah.
The big way you go all the way around and back underneath.
Yeah.
I spun it there. hit the back end, spun round, hit the front end. Both my bumpers had pinged off at the ends, so it looked like it was a fucking snowplow.
Like a shit transformer.
Yeah, I cried.
Okay.
I phoned my boss and said I've crashed my
2001,
car.
so you were 19 at the time.
Yeah, I just passed, so I was 18.
Oh, right.
I was
okay.
18.
Oh, you were
so,
born at 3, weren't you?
yeah, so I was 18 or whenever. It might not have been 2001, but it was the first year. I was still 17, I think. Or was I 18?
You were young either way.
I was 17 or 18. It took me a while to pass my test because I kept failing. But anyway, so I phoned my boss and said, I've just crashed my car. I'm on the A5. I'm going to be late for work. He paid for a tow truck to come and collect my car. Me being me, thinking, oh, he's going to pay for that. No, the fucker stopped it out my wages the week after. I didn't know that was going to happen. I was naive. But anyway, and then they picked it up. The insurance company come and look at it and wrote it off. And that was the end of that. I'd had the car longer in the garage than I'd had it on the road.
Fucking hell.
And then my dad bought me my first car because he always said he'd buy me my first car.
Yeah.
And then I had another Nova afterwards, a red one. 5-speed this time, went up in the world.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, P-Reg, not an F-Reg. And then I bought that from Hollywood. Not in LA. In Birmingham.
Yeah.
I bought my van from Hollywood
It's
as well.
a bit less glamorous.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I sold that, and my mate had a 1.4 Carabic Blue, which was actually green, Corsa,
Right, okay.
that he'd had a big body kit fitted to, and he'd spent all this money on this car. And to me, a 1.4 SRI from my 1.2 was fucking rapid. So I ended up taking a loan out. I let him spend all this money on this body kit. He had it done some dodgy fucking body shop in Birmingham. It was fucking awful. But I wanted it because Fast and Furious was out and I wanted this car.
Yeah.
So I took a loan out to buy this car behind my dad's back because my dad fucking hates loans and finance and all that shit. So I was 18. I got a good credit score then. It was fine. They just threw fucking money at you.
No, literally.
So I bought this car, this Carabic Blue Corsa, full body kit on, everything. It was fucking sick.
I think I remember this
It was
car.
so cool.
It wasn't. That
Bubble
cool.
arches, big spoiler on the back. Back then, it was the fucking... It was the shit, right? But it wasn't finished, and I couldn't afford to finish it because I took the loan out to buy the car, not to
How much
finish
did you
the
pay
car.
for the car?
I can't remember. It's like $2,000 maybe, something like that. And I wrote that off.
How did you write that one off?
I wrote...
Fucking hell.
There's a tanning shop used to be a tanning shop in Kingsbury, where, you know, back in the day, all the hot ladies used to go to the tanning shop. So I drove past the tanning shop, looking into the tanning shop.
This is the worst and best reason to write off a car.
So I was looking at the tanning
How
shop.
fast are you going?
15 miles an hour.
15?
Yeah, not much. And then, much like yourself, a car stopped in front of me. It was another Corsa, actually. And they tried to mate. Bang. One into the front, to the other, to the back. And it fucking just... It totaled both of them.
15 miles per hour as well.
Absolutely totaled both of
I
them.
mean, at least when I crashed mine, I was going about 70 at the
Oh,
time.
no, there's better than that. So then after that, I got... I think they paid me out. Did they pay? Yeah, they paid me out. They wrote that one off. Paid me out for it. The insurance company did. But it had got a big bonnet vent in it. It had got a full body kit on it. It had got an induction kit exhaust. The insurance assessor came out and said, there's all these modifications on it that you hadn't declared on your insurance. I said, what modifications? He listed them all off and I went, oh, it's an SRI. I thought they come from the factory line. From that. And he went, yeah, fair enough. And fucking they paid me. Yes. And they paid me out for it. And then I got another Corsa. I went from an 8-valve to a 16-valve 1.4. Corsa Sport.
Damn.
Bought it from a dealership. My dad bought me this one this time.
Oh, okay.
Bought it from a dealership. Bowled me a garage over in Sutton. Bought that. I had it about 2 months. And the engine started smoking. And if you're not mechanically minded, this will mean nothing to you. But the valve stem seals had gone, right? Which is basically a full engine rebuild, because they're the seals around the valves inside the engine.
Yeah.
They start to they go, then basically the oil and the water's mixing and it just smokes all the time.
Yeah.
but it was still under warranty. So they had it back, replaced the engine, apparently, in this car.
Apparently.
And it was fucking beast afterwards.
Okay.
And it was a fucking mint car. Absolutely mint. It was perfect.
I'm crying a bit.
Wrote that off.
How do you write that one off?
Racing on the motorway.
Oh, okay.
I was racing a guy. I used to work at the airport, Birmingham Airport, and I was driving on the way to work.
I've never had a car fast enough to race anyone.
Mate, any car's fast enough to race. It just depends how fast you want to go.
My first Focus I had, I loved that car. I think because it was my first. It was a hand down. It was my dad's first. He gave it to my brother. My brother's 4 years older than me. He gave it to me. I remember the first time I drove it, shitting myself. First time driving by myself. I hit 50 and the engine, the boot popped open, so I had to pull over. Close the boot. Next time I was driving, it happened again. I'm like, fuck, what's going on? So I drove home and I said, oh, the boot pops open when you hit 50. He's like, oh, yeah, it does that. Cool, thanks for letting me know.
Why did the boot pop open at 50?
No one knows. there was ways to jimmy it so it didn't happen, which I very quickly discovered. Then it was okay until it didn't reverse for 3 months. Which you don't realise how much you reverse until you can't reverse anymore.
Have you told me this story? Did you tell me this story off the podcast?
I've told you the story, but I haven't told the podcast the story.
Right, okay.
So it didn't reverse for 3 months, which isn't really a problem as long as you've forward park on hills and can roll out a bit. Otherwise, you're kind of fucked. So basically, then the drive shaft, the engine fell out.
Just throw that in there.
I was driving,
all nonchalant. Yeah, the engine fell out.
I was driving to get a Subway one day. Hungover, wanted a Subway. It broke down next to the engine. The noise it made was fucking horrific. Straight away,
When you say the engine fell out, be a bit more specific.
So the engine bracket,
Engine mount.
the engine mount snapped.
Right. Oh, so literally the engine did fall out then?
It was held on by the wires and everything else. So I pull into this lay-by in between Drive Assist, which deal with broken cars, and Tamworth Repair Centre, which fixes broken cars. Neither of which I registered with anyway.
Or needed their help. So I pull over there, get out. I knew what had happened straight away, so I'm going up in the engine where the engine should have been. It was like that there. Call my dad. Like, the engine's falling out of the car. It's like, no, it hasn't. So he comes around, opens it up. Says, oh, yeah, what's happened there is your engine's falling out. But it fell out, took out the drive shaft, and fucking so it cost a fucking fortune to get it fixed. And he was like, it's dead. I'm like, no, I fucking love this car. I'm fixing this car. That guy in fucking Blackheath, though. So when I got it back, I don't know what else he fixed that. What else he'd stole?
But after that, just wasn't the fucking same. It used to, after you hit a certain mileage, the speedometer would stop working for about an hour. So you just had to guess your speed.
The car sounds like it had character.
And then every time you downshift, the engine would cut out, which isn't a problem until you're going down a roundabout and your power steering goes because your engine's cut out. You can kickstart an engine at 70 miles per hour, I promise you can.
I mean, your car cutting out at any point is kind of a problem.
It is.
For you to say it's not really a problem, I mean, it is.
It's not. Like, you cut out the motorway all the time, but I would literally just turn it over. Car start, I promise you from experience, if your engine cuts out and you're doing 80, you can kickstart your engine again.
I sold a car that didn't start, that used to cut out when you come to a roundabout.
Again,
didn't tell the guy it was broke.
The roundabout wasn't an issue until your power steering goes when you're.
Well, we went on a test drive. I actually lived in this house. I sold it from this house.
Oh, really?
And we come down the hill, and when I got to the bottom of the hill, to the roundabout, just by my house, it cut out. And I went, oh shit, I've stalled it. And I told him that I'd stalled it.
Fucking hell.
And he went, oh yes, no worries. And we had a laugh about it. And then I left him sat out the front of my house for 2 hours trying to sort insurance on it. It was a little Fiesta van. And he tried to sort insurance.
You're a terrible person.
And I knew it was fucked. But he'd already paid me for it. So I said, I'm going to have to leave it to you, mate. I need to go out. And I literally just went and sat around the corner. And then I drove past to see if he was still there. And he'd gone. I was like, see you later, mate. And that was it.
Did he never come back?
No. He wanted it for a pizza delivery van.
Fucking hell. There's a lot of people still waiting for pizzas.
Mate.
The thing is, I love that car. It was the equivalent of a 3-legged, blind, hairless dog.
But you just love it.
But I fucking loved it. It had so much character. When it finally died, I can't remember what happened to it to actually fully kill it. Between the boot popping open, the speedometer not working, the engine cutting out constantly, the drive shaft being taken out, the engine falling out, and not being able to reverse. None of those things killed my car.
Other than that, it was a Minter.
Other than that, honestly, it was fucking tits.
But
And when it died, I was devastated.
I cried when my car crashed my first car.
And it was my first car, you know what I mean?
That's
I
what I mean.
love
I
that
cried.
car. All the cars I've had since, I've never loved a car. Like, I mean, I've had some... The best is when you go abroad and you rent a car and you get full insurance on it. And you just drive it like... You know in Jackass where they rent that car and take it to a demolition derby but get full coverage. So when they bring you back...
Do you think
they're
that's possible?
Yes.
Do you think?
It is.
To that extent?
I asked the guy in Romania. I went to Romania last year, and I rented a car, and he was like, "It's like an extra 80, whatever their currency was, like equivalent of pounds, £80 to get a full cover." So I try and con the fuck out of you, because I'm like, I know I've paid already, so what's this charge?
Yeah.
And I was like, I took like a minimal insurance, like theft or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, what this means is that you can do what you want to the car when you're covered. And I was like, so if I take it to a demolition derby and bring it back, missing 2 wheels, missing a door, missing a bonnet, he's like, do you give his keys over and go about your day?
Really?
And I'm like, are you fucking serious? And he's like, yeah.
We need to put this to the test.
I'm
sorry, but we need to put this
Art
to
of the
the
Devil
test.
special.
I mean, we did do something similar on the American road trip. I think I told that story.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to the extent where it was absolutely fucked.
No, honestly, I made sure this wasn't. I broke the window within an hour. Like, sorry, the side mirror. I was trying to find my hostel in where was I? Northern Romania somewhere, Cluj. Excuse me. I'm trying to find my hostel. There's a really fucking narrow street that I've driven around 4 times because my sat nav on my phone said to turn left and there isn't a left. So I'm trying to find somewhere to pull over and walk around and try and find it. There's a van, like delivering some shit. So they're just emptying shit out, and I've driven around the 3rd time and just clip.
Bye-bye.
But smashed his reverse light.
Nice.
So I've pulled over somewhere, come back, and I think he already thought I wasn't going to come back, but I've come back and been like, look, I'm really fucking sorry. Look, I've got insurance. I'll give you my insurance information. He's like, look, this is Romania. They don't fucking pay out.
Really?
Yeah. He was like, they're not going to fucking
It's
pay
done.
me. He's like, they'll cover your car. They won't cover mine.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, look, I have full coverage. You can have my phone number. He's like, how about just give me this much money instead? And I'm like, I've just paid this much more for fucking... to cover this situation, you know what I mean?
I hope you said no.
I did say no. I felt like an asshole for it because I had to move my car then because it was like literally dumped in the middle
Yeah,
of the
but
fucking
also,
road.
there's every chance he would have got paid out for it and then had the cash off you
Well,
in
he
his
didn't,
pocket.
he didn't even have my insurance information in the end. And I was like, look, you can have my information and go claim for it. And he's like, it's fucking not worth my time. And I was like, I'm really fucking sorry.
Wow.
And he was like, you're English, you're rich. I was like, I ain't rich. I'm really not. But yeah, I tried. But honestly, I drove the fuck out of that car. And I drove it on, what's that road called again?
The
Transfagarian
the
Highway. Transgender
Transgender Highway.
Which on Top Gear, about 10 years ago, they said was...
Transfagaragan.
It's something like that. That's the closest you're going to get.
Transfagaragan.
It's something like that.
The Transylvania Highway.
The Transylvania Highway. Top Gear did a thing where they said it was the best road in the world, which was the reason I went. The main reason I went to Romania was to drive that road, and did it in this car and drove the absolute fuck out of it.
Is it? Because I've heard stories that it's just traffic usually bumper to bumper.
No.
It was empty.
Like literally, I mean, there's cars on there, but just burn them. Most of them are Romanians.
They're just using it as a
Just use it
normal
as-
road.
Yeah. So you can literally just fucking loop around them. So honestly, when I went September last year, and from the starting point, unofficial starting point to that road, where you start really kind of like getting to do the hairpins and everything else, to where it levels out, about 12 cars I passed.
Really?
That was it.
It's nothing really. Is
And
it?
honestly, you can fucking floor it on there, and those corners are fucking magnificent.
I'd like to do it. I drifted the Stelvio Pass.
My mate just drove that.
I drifted
And
around
it
that,
looked-
and that's fucking terrifying.
It looks insane.
Because it's a big hill. That
Yeah.
is. It's a big steep hill. And I was drifting the hairpins on that. But that's the thing, like, yeah, I suppose it's down to being fucking young, innit? Like, you're young and stupid, you're inexperienced, you're going to crash a car. It's
Yeah.
as simple as that. I mean, I crashed my drift car when I first had it.
Do you want to talk about Doris?
On the road, Doris. Oh, that's the other car that I cried about. That's the only 2 cars that I've ever cried that I've sold. It was my very first car and my first drift car. Doris, Drifty Doris.
Doris was the love of your life, I'm pretty sure.
Doris is the one that got away.
Great White Buffalo.
I had to sell Doris to pay my rent.
Yeah, I remember.
It sat outside my house for 2 years,
I
not being
remember.
driven. But I still had to sell it. I ended up selling her to pay my rent because I was fucking out of work.
Yeah.
Devastated. But yeah, that's where it all started, old Doris. That's why if I come into some money now, like, what would you pay your credit cards? But no, I'd buy that car back.
That exact one.
With that exact one, I would pay double the price
Really?
to that guy to get that car back because there's so many memories in that car.
You know what you as listeners can do?
GoFundMe.
No. Tell more people about our podcast
Yes,
so we can get enough hits
to buy Doris back.
to buy Doris back.
BuyDorisBack.com. We need it.
we do need
But
it.
yeah, I fucking love that car. That's what
No,
cars.
I know.
That's what. Did I tell the story about that car?
Yeah, I think
So. I can't remember, but
we did.
I love that car and I want it back. And literally, there's a thing called drift tax in the drift scene, where if it's a drift related product, it usually costs more than what it would normally
Yeah.
because it's for the drift scene.
Yeah.
So it's called drift tax. So you pay more for what it's worth. So normally a 200 SX, S14, whatever you want to call it, is a granddad's car, standard, like a normal S14. You don't see that many of them anyway, but there was the old Japanese, it's like a Honda Prelude or something like that. You know what I mean? Just a big old Japanese fucking bus that nobody would ever in a million years. There was the Japanese version of the Mondeo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
There was like travel, like what they called the fucking salesman cars and all that, where they just jump up and down the motorway. They'd got a massive boot to put all your samples in.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all there was. And then as soon as they became popular,
That's a Vauxhall Astra now, isn't it? That's
basically,
pretty much
yeah,
that
anything
car,
like that.
isn't it? Yeah,
Fast and Furious came out and they doubled in fucking price.
Really?
Overnight. Doubled in price. Japanese cars then became popular.
The thing was with like, I remember about 2 years ago. I watched there's 7 or 8 of them now.
10.
There's 10 Fast.
10 now.
Is that including the Hobbs and Shaw ones?
No,
as well?
that's just Fast 9 just came out. And then there's Hobbs and Shaw, which is the
10th one.
Basically,
I think I've watched 9 then. I haven't watched Fast 9. I think the last one I watched was the one after Paul Walker died.
Oh, that's ages ago. There's been like 3 more since
Okay,
then.
no. Did he die in 7?
I can't remember.
Well, in real life when 7 came out.
I think so, yeah.
But I watched all of them over like 2 days once. I was like fucking ill or something like that, so I watched all of them. And every time I watch it, for all the bullshit sports cars in there, all I care about is that 68 Charger.
Out of all the cars that are in it,
68 Charger.
it is a sick
Every fucking
car.
time.
It is a sick car. But yeah, that fucking, I don't know, man. That film changed my life, and I don't regret any of it.
Yeah,
See
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
The thing is, it was a huge cultural change for
Massive.
everything. Like, it really was.
massive
There are, like, there's very... Well, we were talking last week about, like, Nirvana and, like,
with the music and stuff. Yeah.
And I think
Or
with
was
everything-
was that in the first podcast?
No,
or the
we
second one?
did. It was
Oh,
the
we
second
did.
one. It was the second one. And there was that, if you think like with tattoos and stuff like that, and like what Miami Ink and David Beckham and people like that
Yeah,
did,
yeah, yeah.
and brought it to the forefront. And I
Yeah.
think for cars, that was it.
100%. Yeah, no,
It brought it back down to, rather than being old guys on TV shows like Top Gear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it even changed Top Gear. It changed
Yeah.
the dynamic of that show.
that's all really for people. It was Top Gear. Top Gear was the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Fast and Furious came out, and it was more than a film. For me, it was a lifestyle. Like
Yeah.
that was what I wanted to be like.
But the thing is, it is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It was just the first time it was made accessible
yeah,
through a
true.
medium
Yeah.
to everyone else.
Yeah, it wasn't made up. Street racing is a thing. I know
Absolutely.
people in Vegas that make a living from street
Yeah,
racing.
yeah.
Like, that's their job. They go out street racing, they put money on it, they win, they lose. That's
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah.
all illegal. It is what it is. But people do it. Do you know what I mean? It's getting more and more difficult now.
I think my only thing with Fast and Furious, because I thought they're easy to watch, but when it became less about cars and more about...
Yeah, but you've got to... Devil's advocate, if you'd had 7 films about street racing, the same argument. Well, it's just the fucking same shit time and time again.
I get that, but
Do you know what I mean?
Right, agreed, but they went too over the top.
No, well, you say that.
Come on. Like,
say
you watch
that.
the last one where The Rock's like fucking...
I do agree where he's wrestling a helicopter. I mean,
like,
and when
if you
doesn't he
haven't
one of them
seen
he
it.
rides a missile?
like,
Doesn't
yeah,
he? Isn't he like
probably.
something? I'm pretty sure he redirects a missile.
Yeah.
But
And like they're having a fight. Jason Statham and Vin Diesel are having a fight, and they're hitting each other with like fucking 8-foot wrenches.
Even in the
And he doesn't die for
in
a
the
start.
first film, as much as it was gritty and real life,
That was over the top.
nobody's ever been to a street race meet that was like.
Yeah,
Never.
yeah. I get that.
They're never like
But
that.
it's an exaggeration.
Of course it is.
But it went from being exaggeration to fairy tale.
Yes, but I don't hate on that at all. At no point did I think this is fucking. Some of it's like, yes.
The thing is, though, I feel like I feel the way you feel about Fast and Furious about Pirates of the Caribbean. It made me want to be a pirate.
Right.
Stay with me. And the first couple of Pirates of the Caribbean films are. I was about to say realistic. They're not at all. But they live in what is considered to be a realistic universe. And then it gets more and more and more ridiculous to the point where the last one, like someone parts the sea and there's like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It went a bit Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it went a bit Fast and
Yeah.
Furious. And I think that's the point is like I can withhold judgment on reality to a certain degree. But there comes a point. It's a difference, I guess, between like with superhero films. The Batman film, where it's like the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises and all of that. It's set in a real universe. To Thor, where he's riding.
Oh,
lightning.
yeah,
You know what I
anything
mean?
like that, you do get very much artistic license.
Completely right. But if all of a sudden that realistic based Batman film goes ridiculous, but still you're meant to make it believable.
So the other day, you messaged me and said, settle this argument, Star
That's
Wars
better, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
or Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And I said, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars is a load of shit. Controversial. Don't give a fuck, right? Star Wars is dog shit. End of.
It's not.
And the reason I'll say this is because the minute you have a film that's set in space, anything applies.
It's in a galaxy far, far away.
Anything. You can literally bullshit your way through an hour and a half of a film and just go, well, it's in space. Yeah, but what does that actually mean? Like, with people say Fast and Furious is far-fetched, right? To an extent, yes, certain parts are a bit like, what the fuck was that?
I mean, now it's more parts than certain parts.
Star Wars, right? I've not watched Star Wars for a while, right? But the newest one, or whatever the newest one was, come out last year.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, that shit. I went out and actually went to the cinema. I've got that Limitless thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to the cinema. I quite like going to the cinema on my own.
I like going to the cinema.
Right, I'll go on my own.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I'll just go on my own, sit, watch the film, chill out. That was on. There was nothing else really on.
Yeah.
Right, so I went, watched it. Right. Within 10 minutes of it being on, right, there was some fucking ship that was lost in the desert. And they had to find I don't know, and they had to find a thing.
Oh, no, yeah.
They had to find a thing in this ship, right? Within
A Pathfinder.
I don't know what it was, but within
Pathfinder.
30 seconds of being in this ship,
To find it.
they find it immediately, right? I haven't watched the previous film, but I'm pretty certain that whole film was about them trying to find that one item, and they
found
didn't.
it in
And they
10
didn't. No,
minutes.
they didn't even find it. Next film, 30
Oh,
seconds.
there it is.
Oh, I've just fell over it. There it is.
Yeah, but
It's bullshit.
that's the new Star Wars. I'm
bullshit.
not on about the new Star Wars. I'm on about
bullshit.
the original trilogy. And
It's-
one thing I will say, Star Wars A New Hope, as it is now known, is a piece of shit film. The first original Star Wars is fucking awful.
I just
But my problem with Lord of the Rings is this.
shit. Carry on.
The ball just dropped. Why didn't the Eagles just fly them over to the mountain and drop the rings them?
Eagles.
At the end, that's how they get out. The Eagles come down and get them out, right? Frodo and fucking...
Maybe they didn't know the Eagles
His
at
mate.
the beginning.
They didn't know the Eagles at the end. They just appeared.
Oh.
No one called them. They were just like...
I'll be honest, I don't know if I've watched them all. It's quite a commitment, Lord of the Rings.
Mate, isn't it though?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say Lord of the Rings is pretty shit.
I'd say I disagree.
It's pretty shit.
I would rather sit and spend 3 hours watching one Lord of the Rings than watch an hour and a half of Star Wars. I just think they're able to get away with too much.
I think my problem with Star Wars is that when I was a kid, Star Wars, like I think Empire, Jedi came out when I was born. I think Empire was before me. First one came out I think 77 or 79, and the second one came out when I was really young. But I remember my mum brought me a Millennium Falcon for Christmas one year.
I think I had one of them. What's the thing with the big legs? Is it an AT-AT or something?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had the model of one. I remember I had a big. What's the round thing? The spaceship thing.
The Millennium Falcon.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I had one of them, and I had the thing with the legs, and you could do something where the legs walked. It was quite big as toys.
Yeah.
Didn't know what there was because I don't remember Star Wars, but I had the toys for some reason, and I remember them as a kid, but I don't remember any of the films.
See, I watched the film so much when I was a kid.
Never bothered.
And I think that's why now a lot of it is nostalgia.
Yeah, but that again, are you forgiving it because it's
100%.
nostalgic? See, I just
100%. Like most of the Star Wars films, there's 9 of them now. Well, there's 11 if you include the Solo movie and Rogue One, and most of them are bullshit.
100. They're all bullshit.
But
It's like you watch Fast and Furious. Yeah, all right then. The Rock is wrestling a helicopter, but also he's a big dude, right? So if possibly it ever happened, he might be able to pull it off.
I love The Rock.
These fuckers jump in a spaceship and they travel 9 million light years in the blink of an eye, and they're on a whole different planet that's effectively exactly the same. They just dress differently. Like, what?
Yeah, but it's
To go and find something that they all... It's just bullshit. Absolute nonsense. They can just get away with so much because it's space. And because nobody can prove it wrong,
I will say
they
this.
can just go, yeah, we'll just do what we fuck. No
Let
one
me
can
say
tell
this.
us it's wrong.
Between the original Star Wars trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, or the first 3 Pirates films, Pirates of the Caribbean every time.
Over what? Star Wars?
Or Lord of the Rings.
Or, see,
The first Pirates movie is one of the best entertaining
I
movies.
think I've probably only watched it once.
It's fucking
I
phenomenal.
don't tend to watch films more than once.
Oh, I can watch a film.
And because my memory's dog shit, I forget
forget
what
it
it
straight
So
away.
if I do ever watch it again, it's like, oh, this is
I
pretty cool.
prefer watching... I don't really watch TV shows at all. Like, when people go on about, like, RuPaul's Drag Race or fucking... I don't know what the fuck people watch.
Love Island. I fucking love Love Island.
Never watched
I
it.
love it.
I don't watch anything like that.
I love reality TV.
I fucking hate it.
I love it. X Factor, Britain's Got Talent.
Never watched it.
Love Island, Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother when it was on, not the Normos.
Obviously not.
No one gives a fuck about Normos. No one gives a fuck about
No
Dave.
one cares about any of it.
Nobody gives a fuck about Dave down the road, but I want to see what Pamela Anderson looks like when she wakes up, because there's no fucking hiding from that shit.
Pamela Anderson on it.
Yeah.
Is she still hot?
Yeah. I can't remember. She might not have been on it.
She might not have been.
Sylvester Stallone's mom was on it.
I remember that.
Jackie.
That's why I remember
That
it.
bitch.
Never
But,
watched it. I can't do. I don't like watching TV at the best of times.
Oh, do you know what? Now, since lockdown and since I've started streaming,
Yeah.
literally, I've cancelled all my Sky.
Oh, you were saying that before. Yeah.
all that's gone. So I've been without Sky now since I think it turned off on the 4th of August.
I don't have TV. I don't have terrestrial TV channels.
Well, I don't know. I haven't sat in my living room for fucking 3 weeks.
But I mean, I don't have BBC One.
I miss Buffy the Vampire Slayer though.
It's gonna be all right. You can like.
I mean, I'm not going to go to that much effort to re-stream
I
Buffy.
don't know what it's on. I was gonna say.
The only thing I've watched on TV is the F1 on F4 catch-up.
Yeah.
Channel 4 catch-up. I've watched that.
Yeah.
That's it.
See,
that's all I've watched.
I didn't have a TV for 3 years. I remember watching they were announcing the groups for Euro 2014, I think. My TV blew up. Literally smoke came out the back of my TV. And I got an estimate to get it fixed, and the guy was like something like £400. I was like, fuck that, just leave it. I'll buy a new one in a couple of weeks. I gave it about 2 months. I just didn't miss TV. I had my laptop, so I could still watch TV and films and stuff like that on there if I wanted to. Didn't have a TV for 3 years. And then it wasn't until I moved back from Iceland the first time, and I was saving to go travelling to Patagonia. So I thought I'll buy a TV because it'll keep me in the house more. So I spent £1,000 on a TV.
Fucking
Great logic.
man logic.
Man logic.
Man
So I
logic.
bought- it was like
I'll
what-
save money by spending
money.
£1,000.
But it was like a £900 TV, curved 52 inch.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful.
I mean, you needed it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a smart
yeah.
TV, but it's got everything on there. So I've got Netflix on there and fucking
Yeah.
Prime or whatever.
If you have got Amazon Prime, I don't even watch it.
I don't have Amazon Prime because I hate Amazon. Although, are we on Amazon now? As a
No, I
podcast?
don't know. I think it might be soon. I think we've got a...
Have I just broken an exclusive?
Yeah. I don't know. I think we might be soon.
I was gonna sell it as a false exclusive. I'd be like, you'll find this on Prime, but you'll also find any other podcast that wants to be on Prime because they just have podcasts on there now. But I think I just ruined it.
Yeah, I think Amazon are starting to do podcasts on... I don't know if they're doing their own podcast platform. I think
they are. I think they are.
But yeah, so we're going to be on that shortly.
We will be on that
well.
shortly. We'll do a proper announcement.
If people listen.
Not a proper announcement.
I need to piss. Is that bad?
No.
Talk bollocks for 2 seconds.
What the?
Just talk bollocks. Tell us a story about why you like Pirates of the Caribbean.
I like Pirates of the Caribbean because I like women pirates.
I like Pirates of the Caribbean
Pirates of the
by
Caribbean.
Sonny, aged 36.
Aged 37.
37.
Nearly 38. I don't know really what to talk about now. So you're stuck with me for about however long it takes Jake. He had one beer and he's going for a piss. He's a bladder of a fucking infant. Pirates of the Caribbean, though, is fucking great. The last one wasn't. The last two. Maybe the last three, actually. The first one's great, though. But it made me really want to be a pirate.
Keep talking.
I'm running out of things to say by myself.
Talk to yourself.
I don't really talk to myself very much. I can hear you. I'm pretty sure if I can hear you piss, they can hear you piss, though.
No.
I'm going to say so. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're nearly done.
Keep talking.
I'm still talking. Just don't have much to say by myself. Say again.
You're mumbling.
Am I mumbling?
Yeah.
So I got my headphones on, so apparently I sound quieter. You could have shut the door. I can hear you flush now. If Rob was here, it wouldn't be a problem. I could talk to Rob.
This podcast would fall apart without me. If you went for a piss, we'd have been fine. I'd have talked bollocks for 10 minutes, not a problem.
Yeah, you literally would.
Because nobody watches my Twitch stream, I talk bollocks to myself for like 4 or 5 hours
I
every
thought
night.
you had like thousands and thousands of viewers.
No, I have like 2
Yeah, too.
at least, and one of them is my computer.
Does that count?
It counts as a number.
Does that count?
Yeah.
Is that like when you when we stream our podcast, if we watch it, that's like 2 new views?
Yeah, if me and you watch it,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
count. Yeah, same thing. But no, I watch. My computer watches me, and
I have watched.
couple of my friends.
Every once in a while, I'll jump in and go, "Yep, still shit," and I carry on
It's
my
so
life.
fucking tough to get new followers. It really is.
Yeah.
Because I think I watched it last night, and there's like 76,000 people watching. No, I don't know, but there was a lot at that moment in time.
Yeah.
Like 70-odd thousand viewers. And that could be 20 streamers, it could be 60 streamers. And the more you've got, the higher up the list you are. So to find me, you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And so,
That's what, again, so what we need is you to tell your friends to listen to our podcast so Jake can buy Doris back and he can get more streamers on Twitch.
I want to stream full time. That's the dream. But
Is that the dream?
there's some just quick story before we end. A lad or a person dropped into my stream the other day, and his screen name was Ronnie Barker, Ronnie_Barker, right?
Okay.
And he's literally, his first comment in my chat was, "I've never won a game. Can you help me win a game?" Right? Didn't say hello. Didn't introduce himself. Nothing. And I was playing a game.
Ronnie Barker's dead, isn't he? The actual Ronnie
I
Barker.
was playing a game mode that was called Solos.
Okay.
So I said, "Right now, mate, no, I can't because I'm playing on my own.
Yeah.
So I can't really help you get a win because we can't play together because I'm playing on my own." Oh. That was it. That's all he said. Oh. I thought he was a troll.
Yeah.
Right? So I said also, I looked at his profile picture on his Twitch account and it was like some fucking mad woman with like crazy hair and fucking...
Not Ronnie Barker.
Definitely not Ronnie Barker.
Okay.
So I says, "Mate, I'll be honest, because I think you're a bit of a troll. You've got your name's Ronnie Barker." I says, "Your fucking picture's a bit fucking trolly." He went, "Oh, I get that all the time." I said, "How
If your
old?"
name was Ronnie Barker, you'd go by one at least.
I said, "How old are you?" He went, 13, coming on 14. I was like, "There's no fucking way your real name is Ronnie Barker at 13 years old.
Yeah, because that means your parents' names.
That's exactly what I said. I said,
Yeah.
that means your parents are going to be late 30s, early 40s-ish, maybe. They're going to have heard of Ronnie Barker.
100%.
They're not going to have, our surname's Barker. What should we call our firstborn? Ronald sounds like a good name.
Yeah.
We'll call him Ronnie for short.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I get this all the time. People say I'm a fucking nut. I says, you're full of shit. Please leave me alone. I said, you didn't introduce yourself. You didn't say nothing. And he went, yeah, fair enough, mate. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Anyway, have some good games. And then he disappeared. He's not been back since. And that was it. And that's the shit that I have to put up with on fucking Twitch. Because all people do is scroll all the way down to the bottom
and just give them shit.
and see who's got the least amount of viewers. And I would imagine I'm in the top 5 or bottom 5 because I'm a new streamer.
Yeah.
Playing quite a popular game. And they just join in and go. And he was like, I'm just trying to help small streamers out. I was like, mate, what do you mean trying to... I said, drop me 100 gifted subs.
Yeah.
Then you're helping me out. Asking me how to get your first win isn't helping me out. You're just being a nose. Fucking kids. Fucking kids.
My brother just started playing FIFA Online a couple of months ago. And we were talking about it the other day. And he just full on gets in arguments with children. And I'm like, you're 41 years old.
That is the one thing about the game that I play.
Have some decorum. But he'll quit games. He'll rage quit and then message them. Giving them shit about the tactic. Oh, you're PSG. Anyone could be PSG. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude. Like,
that's the shit you get banned for.
Go outside more. Just go outside more.
I literally get 5 seconds of what they call death chat. So if you kill someone, you hear their reaction.
Oh, okay.
You get their microphone for 5 seconds. And it's usually, fuck! Or, fucking where did he come from? Depending on what level of streamer you are.
Yeah.
So if you're quite a well-known streamer and say if somebody was watching my game or watching my stream, you get what's called stream snipers. So people will wait till you start loading into a game and they will load in at the same time, hoping that they end up in your game.
Have you thought about playing other games?
No. And then what will happen is they will watch your stream and see where you are.
Yeah.
They will come and try and kill you or get killed by you so they can shout the most fucking random stuff and it'll go out on the stream. A lot of the stuff that they say probably would get you banned from Twitch.
Right,
There's a lot of N-words shouted around.
Okay.
There's a lot of other stuff that's a bit random. There's one guy that I watched, this one streamer. Obviously, when you're collecting stuff, it's called looting, right? So you go looting for guns and whatnot. There's this one guy, and he will go around, collect all this stuff, money, guns, ammo, all the stuff that you'd want. He will then come and find you and just stand in front of you so you can kill him. And then the minute you kill him, he goes, "Loot llama," and then that's it. And then he just disappears. So he just basically brings all the loot to you. You kill him, he sings "Loot llama," and then you go on about your day. And
you know how I just said my brother's 41 and he's got outside more?
I love it.
You need to go outside more.
No, I don't.
You do.
I spend all day outside. I don't need to go outside anymore. I don't like people anymore. I don't want to speak to people anymore.
So yeah, but you are talking to them. You're talking to Loot Llama.
But by choice and for 5 seconds. If I could speak to real people
for 5 seconds
in 5-second bursts, I'd be a happy man. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's good to have limitations and guidelines to these things.
This is why I love lockdown.
I
wear my mask. I don't have to talk to people.
I do wear my mask. If you don't wear a mask, you're a piece of shit. Just wear a mask. My favourite is the whole people who are like, it goes against my human rights. I was talking about this at work today about, I know we are meant to finish in a minute, but about zombie attacks. We talked about it before.
Right.
We talked about it before on the podcast. Because of COVID, I think that's how it started. We were on about early stages of COVID in like February. And we were saying about what it could end up being, and it could end up being a zombie thing, which disappointingly it never did.
Fucking gutted.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
Right?
I thought if we're going through all this effort, at least let me use a crossbow. You know what I mean?
Well, no, crossbow again. You're going to run out of
I want to use a crossbow.
But what happens when you run out?
Then I'll just get another weapon.
What's your second weapon?
It's got to be like a sword or a pipe.
Sword, 100%
A
sword.
big stick or something.
But I was saying, one thing
Thou
COVID...
shalt not pass. Big staff or something like that.
But if you had like 28 days zombies...
With a skull on the end.
28 days later zombies, the rage ones, that are really fucking fast.
I know, I don't want them ones.
But if that's what it was, I honestly...
Then we're all dead.
In less than a week.
Easy. They'd overrun the world.
I
don't give a fuck how many tanks. I don't care if you had the Rock.
In about 17 minutes, realistically. But anyone now who has a strategy, who has a plan, if we get attacked by those kind of zombies, there'll be people in the streets going, I don't want to stay inside. It goes against my rights.
This is why America is still on lockdown. Because
It's
of
not.
people like that. No, but you still can't fly there. It's still got massive amounts of COVID cases because it goes against their fucking rights.
Honestly. But it's happened. Did you see there's a march in Birmingham?
fucking
There was
mental.
a protest in Birmingham this week. People out there saying that people wearing masks are dickheads and stuff like that. And what I don't get is like, some dude was saying, I can't, my guy I know was like, I can't wear a mask for longer than like 10 minutes. I'm like, what about surgeons?
What
But
about
it's different.
What about when you're asleep and you keep your mouth shut for fucking 9 hours? What about then? Do you die? Oh no.
Honestly, it's
Funnily enough,
I
you
don't like wearing a mask. I'm not going to lie, but I'll fucking wear it.
Even if you've got a cold, like a proper snotty, horrible cold, usually if you really have to, you can still breathe through your nose.
Yeah,
And actually, if you wear a mask, it's better to breathe through your nose because then you don't have to smell your own breath. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to go to the supermarket first thing on a Sunday morning after maybe having a few drinks, maybe a kebab, a pizza.
Put that mask on.
You
and be
probably
like,
had no
"Oh."
breakfast. You maybe had just a cup of tea or coffee. You've got the old coffee breath. Put your mask on, breathe through your nose.
Make your eyes burn.
You know what I mean? But breathing through your nose is actually better for you
No,
anyway.
it is.
So just fucking, Ranty McRanterson.
But I
Wear
do-
a mask, don't be a dickhead.
Yeah, but and if zombies come, we're all
I've also come back off Facebook.
fucked.
I'm no longer
Have
on
you?
Facebook anymore, Yep. Mostly because of the whole what brought it on? It was another, I think it was the new track and trace thing that they're trying to do. And the whole I just don't get people's logic.
Just delete people instead.
Where, yeah, but mate, I'd have like 6 friends.
Then have 6 friends.
Then it's pointless having Facebook. I don't get the whole. COVID is a conspiracy.
Oh, I don't get
it's
that.
all a lie.
Yeah, I don't get that.
What possibly could any government in any part of the world achieve?
But it's like
fucking-
now in the UK, we're in like a massive recession.
What have they achieved by lying, saying we've got this fake fucking virus that you could all die from? You all need to stay inside. You all need to lose your jobs. The government, need to pay you all billions of pounds so you don't lose your house.
Yeah.
We need to put the fucking country on hold for 3 months. Why? Oh, so we can give you a vaccine. What? What have you achieved?
And not only that, if they were going to do that, surely by now they'd have given us that vaccine.
At some point in your life, you have had an injection of something.
Yep.
If there was this massive, great big conspiracy that the fucking banks are running the world and they want to know where everyone is, they would get that shit into an injection.
And not only that, but we carry one of these in our pockets.
Exactly.
You know that phone? That 5 fucking...
That is way worse than any fucking chip, vaccine, track and trace, fucking whatever you want. You're already...
Don't get me wrong, I'm not doing the track and trace thing. I
No
wouldn't
one
do
is
it.
because it didn't work.
But
They cancelled it.
I get that my phone still tracks everywhere I go. That we're on the grid. This isn't the Matrix. Just accept the fact that...
Just accept the fact that some people are getting poorly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It just baffles me. And then you ask that question: what are the government achieving? If it's a lie,
Yeah.
what are they achieving?
Well,
And you
what are
never-
they benefiting from it?
You never get an answer. Oh well, it's all the fucking the banks, the fucking Rothschilds, and whoever the.
Have you seen Elon Musk is now the 4th richest person in the world? I think that's right. I think he's always the... I'm pretty sure that's what I read. I read a headline. You know what I'm like, headline reader. But I'm pretty sure now he's...
But also, did you see his quote? I don't really care about money. It's,
'cause
all,
you've got all of it.
It's all about making cool products for the public,
It's easy
which is easy to say
when you've got all the money.
when you've got 100 billion in the bank, and
You know what I mean?
you're never going to lose that money. Like if somebody said to me, "Is 10 grand," I wouldn't say, "Well, it's not about the money."
Yeah,
I'd say,
yeah.
"Thanks,
Yeah.
I can buy Doris back."
I'd be
Because that's what would happen. If somebody donated money to me now, I would literally immediately spend it.
I'd be so good at being a billionaire. I'd basically live like Dan Blitzarium.
Have you seen the videos about that guy?
No?
It's all bullshit.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Wait, where did you see them?
They done some house tour with him, and it all came out to be like it was just a nonsense fucking. Like NBC did some house tour with him, some guy, and he just talked bullshit. And they've looked into that Ignite.
For those that don't know, he's that hench fucking poker player dude with a big beard.
Yeah,
He's
supposedly
always surrounded by girls and yachts.
He's never made any money from poker. It's all lies. Everything. His house is rented. That $50 million house that he apparently bought is rented. Everything's on rent. Everything's on finance, and someone else pays his credit card bills. So everything's just comes out at the end of the month. All the girls, they're all paid for.
I mean, you figure they're paid for anyway.
100%, yeah.
Like, even if it's not bullshit, they're paid for.
That Ignite company, which is his weed company, has lost like $150 odd million to the point where like
So is
investors
his
are
whole
pulling out
thing
of
just
it.
a marketing strategy?
I think.
Or is it...
See, he's called the king of Instagram, but he's on.
Well,
Like,
he's called himself the king of Instagram.
no, people have done articles on him saying he's the king of Instagram, but he's done like. He's got like 30 million followers. The Rock's on nearly 200 million. Do you know what I mean? So he's not even the king of Instagram anymore. But I just think he rode the gravy train when Instagram started.
Yeah.
He realised early that he could use it to his advantage.
I was just thinking that when you were saying that, it's like, I think he was.
Yeah, he was.
But the problem is now influencers and all the fucking...
way overtook him, and he hasn't changed. He's still doing the same shit.
Thing, yeah.
He's still doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think it's from what I understand, it's all just
A facade.
just fairy tale. He's a character, basically, just living this life. That, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad life to lead.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is just
a
nonsense.
lot of it, when you see when he's like on a yacht with like 30 girls in bikinis, I'm like, realistically, like, how would that play out? How would that day play out?
If you think about it, right, if you're... He says...
Because he was on Joe Rogan once as well. And
Yeah, he said
to be
something
fair,
like...
on Joe Rogan, I kind of like got a bit more respect for him.
He said something like he doesn't care about sex anymore because he could just get
I've
it whenever
just lost
he wants.
all my respect for him.
Right, well, that's what he said, because he can just
Right.
get it whenever he wants.
Yeah, the one thing I heard about him on that podcast is when he was saying, like, if he crashes a Ferrari, he'll go and buy another Ferrari.
It makes no difference to
And
him.
he was like, but the point of that wasn't arrogant. It was, that's not where happiness comes from. He's
No.
like, I've lived that life. I've had money.
Yeah.
That doesn't give you anything.
He's still leading that life to an extent. Like, now, he's still saying that same thing.
Yeah.
He's talking...
Because that's what I mean. He was saying it in a positive way.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
don't try and strive to be like me, because that doesn't
No,
make me happy.
but also, that's how he's made his money.
Yeah.
So, which one is it?
And
Do you know
I'd
what I
rather
mean?
be still unhappy but have a Ferrari
Me too.
than
to
be
fair.
unhappy and not have a Ferrari.
I'd like to live in a caravan and drive a Lamborghini, if I'm honest.
I mean, happiness and money essentially is the win-win.
To me, a Ferrari would make me more happy than a nice house.
I don't buy that.
No, that's because I'm into cars more than I am houses.
I get that, but I think, okay, maybe not nice. As long as you have a house, it hasn't got to be a nice house.
I could live in it. Honestly, if somebody gave me a motorhome, a caravan, a fucking... I've lived in somebody's outhouse in their back garden.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That didn't even have a bathroom. I had to leave out of the house into the back garden and go into the main house to take a piss.
I definitely
Didn't
don't.
bother me.
I definitely don't believe that possessions make you happy. I think having possessions makes your life more comfortable.
But I think I don't even mean a Lamborghini.
To a
But, because
degree.
it's a sick Lamborghini. Just because I fucking love that car.
Yeah.
And if
No,
I
I
got
do
to drive
understand.
around in that and it meant sacrificing where I lived, I think I would rather have a nice car. That car.
But where are you driving in that car?
Anywhere. I would, if somebody said to me, "Is a Lamborghini Huracan," I would daily that. I'll drive it to work. I don't give a fuck. If I could afford to run that car as a daily driver, like mine one day, I
but
would.
think about how much time you spend in your house a day to how much time you spend in that
Yeah,
car a day.
but I would be more. I'm more happy in my car than I am in my house. So it would give me more. I would have more fun driving to work
Yeah.
than I would coming home and sitting in my house.
All right.
Do you know what I mean? Just because I prefer driving cars and whatnot. Like I said, I could have a fucking...
Would you drive it to Asda?
I'd drive it everywhere.
Would you feel comfortable parking it in Asda?
Yeah. It's a car.
Would you
Cars
park
can be
it
fixed.
right at the back away from everyone else?
Probably, but then for a few weeks, then I'd probably get bored
and
then start parking in the mother and baby space. No, I'm joking. Trolling!
But no, I do think, like, I get the whole money doesn't buy you happiness. I sincerely believe that.
But it can buy you a Ferrari.
It can buy you, it can make your life a bit easier.
You know what I mean?
Like, if you haven't got to worry about money.
We've said this before, like, I could earn £1 million a week and I would still spend it all.
Yeah.
If I was earning £1 million a week, I would still
I wouldn't
have no money in the bank.
I could spend $1 million a week.
But you would, because the more
There's
all you
only
do,
assets you can have, though.
but you wouldn't. You'd be doing it. Me and you would be spending it on experiences. We wouldn't be buying shit. We'd be doing
I've always
cool
said,
shit.
If I got £1 million, the first thing I would do is travel.
God, you would. You would.
Like,
me and you would never have any money in the bank.
Yeah.
Because,
but no, I would try to actively save.
But you wouldn't,
some.
because you would be sat there at home thinking, I've got 50 grand left. That's about 3 weeks in the States. That is.
3 weeks.
Sky Scanner open. Book the flight. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, me and you wouldn't be happy with having a good savings account.
I
we
would. I'm
be
good at
happy.
saving. I'm a good little saver.
I'm on holiday again.
I get
I'm
that.
fucking off again.
But
you only save for a reason. You don't save to save money. You save money to do a cool thing.
I'm not saying I'd save to save. I'm saying I would save. Oh, to be fair, if I had $1 million, how much are we talking?
If someone said to you, if you won the lottery and it was £1 million,
yeah.
I mean, let's save this for the next podcast.
All right,
we'll save it for the next podcast because that's a whole different conversation.
That is a whole different conversation.
So tune in next week.
Yeah.
Next time.
Podcast 16.
To see what the devil and Archer would spend $1 million on.
Okay, fair.
You're probably going to be surprised.
All right, it's been a good
one. Or
one.
not, depending on which one. But yeah.
Everyone would assume I would be rum and pizza, and you're not too far off. I'm not going to lie.
With the odd focus thrown in.
Stop
ruining it. Stop ruining it.
I'd upgrade, but
Stop ruining
you'll
it.
see. Tune in.
But yeah.
We're on Spotify, Apple, by now.
You know because you're listening to it on that platform.
Exactly, yeah.
So basically, tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
And also, do us a favour. Whatever you listen on, hit that copy link and just post it onto your social media.
Yeah, you should do.
And just tell your friends.
Or just screenshot it and post it on your
put it
Instagram
on stories. Tag us. We'll repost it, with our massive following that we don't have.
Let's do that this week. Right, this week, if you screenshot that you're listening to us, post it on your Instagram story, tag us in it, at Archer the Devil. Go to mention.
Basically, the devil is in charge of social media and he does fuck all.
I do nothing.
He does fuck all.
Give me something to do.
So, let's make him earn his fucking money that we don't earn.
Let's do that.
Make him earn his fucking wages.
What I'll do...
Share it, tweet it, Instagram it, Facebook it, Bebo it, stick it on Skype.
Put it on MySpace. Send a telegram.
Send
a smoke signal.
Put it in the Tamworth Herald. Whatever you want to do, just... Please, everybody that listens, just share it once.
Morse code it.
Just share this podcast once. The link, a picture, whatever you want to do. Tell us where you're watching it.
Send a postcard to your nan. Don't tell your nan to listen to us.
Tell us where you're listening to it, and the devil will have to do some work. But yeah, please, everyone just share it. Yeah. We're starting to get back into the swing of things now. We've been a bit more regular. The world's going back to normal, so we want to try and help everyone get back to normal.
And if this hasn't been your favourite one, give them the favourite one.
Yeah, just link whichever one was your favourite one.
Link the best one. You can send us a YouTube one. They can see how beautiful we are.
Yeah, also true. We are on YouTube also.
We are on YouTube.
But yeah, we're going to leave you to it. We'll leave it there.
Take it easy.
See you next time. Remember, please, sanitise and drink some water.
Wear a mask.
Stay hydrated.
Don't be a dickhead.
Don't be a dickhead. Stop licking people. Peace out.
Bye.
Archer and the Devil.